Hi, I'm Tenille and welcome to the channel. Here I talk about the mindset and strategy of online marketing and online business so that you can create more flexibility, more time freedom, and more money in your life. And today we're going to talk about the anatomy of writing a post that actually converts to sales. If you've been posting away and not seeing the conversions that you want, then this video is for you. So the first thing to keep in mind is to remember why you are writing posts, why you're putting content out there in the first place. Why are you doing it? When I first started my first business, I started posting content, but I really was just doing it because that seemed like the thing to do. That's what everyone else was doing. And without really thinking about what the purpose of it was really aimless. It was just, hey, this is how to do what I know how to do. That's what I have. There you go. And I was just giving content away for the sake of it, for the sake of doing it. Now, I will say, there is some validity to just showing up and giving free content. It can be great for brand awareness and people getting to know you and sharing your stuff. So it does help, but it helps more if you know that you're doing it and you're doing it on purpose, and it'll help you to grow more when you have that intention to it. And it'll help you actually make more money when you have a plan for how you're going to do that with your posts, and you have structure to your post that entices people to want to actually spend with you and buy your stuff. Even if not every post you write is for sales, it's important to know why you are writing each post. Even if you know, okay, I am just putting this post up so that I make sure that I'm visible in some way today, and I know that this post isn't really enticing anyone to take any action. As long as you know that, that's okay. But if you're doing that every day, whether you know it or not, then none of your posts are going to lead to more sales. So have some intention, have a plan. Know that when you write some of your posts and you have something to sell, that you put those two things together and you actually structure the post in a way that it makes people want to take that action with you. So the second thing to remember is to write or talk, if you're on video, as if you were speaking to one person. And I like to say, speak or write as if you were talking to a friend or a client. And it can be easier to think of one person, probably someone that you've met before, maybe a client that you really love to work with, or a friend that would ask you about this topic, or that you would like to explain to them about this topic, and picture that one person. And that can be a lot easier than trying to write for the masses and trying to think, oh, well, 10,000 people could see this post, so I will write as if I'm speaking to all of them. It'll be way easier if you just speak or write as if you're talking to one person. This will also make the person on the other end feel more like they are reading or watching something from a friend, and that helps them to feel more connected with you and more comfortable with you as well, which is a good thing. Now, when it comes to who you're talking to, have a think about, what does that person need? And what problem are you solving for them? And make sure you tell them that. When it comes to telling them that, don't be afraid to promote yourself. A lot of people feel bad about self-promotion or icky about it, and you might need to investigate or have a think about why that is and where that comes from. It can often be wrapped up in things about your self-worth, and even traced back really commonly actually to things that you heard as a child that are in the back of your mind or in your subconscious, affecting the way that you feel about promoting yourself now. And we all need to work on that, myself included. I've definitely been through it and go through it still, where it feels weird to toot my own horn and promote myself, but that is part of running a business, and it is the whole reason that you are putting posts out there, is to promote yourself and your business. So You may need to do some inner work to address this. But remember too that confidence sells. So once you have addressed this and you're showing up more confidently, your sales will increase, along with the anatomy of a post that sells, which we're going to talk about next. So when it comes to the anatomy or structure of a post that actually converts your readers or viewers into customers, there's a few different structures of a post that we can do, but I'm going to give you the main one that you can use over and over no matter what you're talking about, and it's this. Okay, so first we start with the hook. With the hook, it's the first thing that you say to capture the attention of your reader or your viewer. And ideally, this would create curiosity. So they really want to keep reading or keep watching to find out how you achieved this thing, or how someone else you know did this thing, or why this other thing happened. So a really common example would be in the weight loss industry, and people put up before and afters, or they talk about that they lost 20 kilos in, I'm trying to think what's a reasonable time frame for that. They lost, I don't know, 20 kilos in 6 months or something. And that's going to pique people's curiosity because they're going to want to know how did you do that? Share that with me. Once you've got your reader's attention or your viewer's attention, the next thing you want to do is use some short points. You can even put them into bullet points or use emojis as bullet points. I like to do that sometimes. And break down a few key points that remind them of the problem that you can solve for them and why that problem is a real problem and how it's holding them back. So a lot of people know that they have the problem, but they may not fully think about how that's affecting them and how it can actually hold them back in a whole lot of other ways that you know about as the expert. Now, this could be a good time to tell irrelevant stories. Storytelling is something that humans love to read, and it's very compelling, and it can draw the reader or the viewer in to want to find out more. When you tell a story, it can also help your content to be more relatable, because often if you have a story and you're talking about the emotions that come up with that, or what you went through, or what someone did, it's often something that other people have been through as well, and it's relatable to them. Now that you have touched on the problems that they're having and how this is affecting them, and maybe told a brief story, you want to tell them what they really need, which is what you have to offer, and why they need it. This is where you should go through some short points about the outcome of what they would have and the transformation of what they would have if they were to work with you, and turn those problems that we had in the beginning around into positives. The problems are where they are now, but these are the positives that they wish they could have. This is the places that they want to be. Remember too that talking about the transformation and the benefits and where they're going to be after working with you is a lot more important than talking about the deliverables. So it's about the transformation, not the stuff. For example, if they're purchasing a course from you, you don't really want to just talk about this is a course with 5 modules and 50 lessons and this many hours of video and 10 PDF downloads. No, it's not about that, is it? It doesn't really matter how much of all that stuff there is. What matters is how can it change their life, and what transformation and benefit can it get for them if they take the course. This can be a good time to talk about someone else that you have helped and a success story, but you're also leading into your call to action. And this is important for any post to get it to convert, is to tell your reader or viewer what they need to do next and how they need to take advantage of this opportunity and exactly how to do it. So this would be where you invite them, message me to talk about working with me and booking an appointment. Click the link to book, click the link to purchase, go here to download my free guide. Whatever action you want them to take, this is where you call them to do it. And that's why it's called a call to action. Another tip is that if you get people liking and commenting your post, you can reach out and thank them and just start a conversation. Don't cold DM with pictures. Just start a conversation to create more connection and ask them, hey, thanks for liking my post. What was the best thing that you liked about it? What was your favorite part? And you can use this for feedback to making sure that you are creating more relevant posts for your community and growing this and creating that snowball effect. Speaking of feedback, if you have any questions or feedback for me of what you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. And if you've watched this far, I really would love to hear from you, even if it's just to say hi. And I would love to sincerely thank you for watching to the end. Make sure if you haven't checked it out already, or if you haven't checked it out in a while, head on over to the Transformation Hub. I'll put the link below. And this is my content hub where all of my free content is available in the one place. You can binge on it, and my premium offers are in there as well for when you're ready. Thank you for watching, and I'd love to see you there. Bye.